So first we're going to subtract 100 from both sides. So 4x squared, 100 minus 100 is 0. 0 minus 100 is negative 100. Then we divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so x squared equals negative 100 divided by 4 is negative 25. So then our last step, we square root both sides. So x equals, remember, square root of negative 25 is square root of negative 1 times by the square root of 25. Square root of negative 1 is I. Square root of 25 is 5. So we have our answer of plus or minus 5 times I. So let's look at the second one. Subtract 48 to both sides. So 3x squared, 48 minus 48 is 0. 0 minus 48 is a negative 48. Divide both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is a 1, so x squared equals negative 48 divided by 3 is a negative 16. So then we can square root both sides. So x equals plus or minus, so the square root of negative 16 is really the square root of negative 1 times by the square root of 16. Square root of negative 1 is I. Square root of 16 is 4. So we have x equals 4i. So then the next one, we can add 150 to both sides. So negative 5x squared, negative 150 plus 150 is 0. 0 plus 150 is 150. So if we divide both sides by negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1. So that's with x squared equals 150 divided by a negative 5 is a negative 30. So we can square root both sides. So x equals, we take the square root of negative 1 times the square root of a positive 30. Square root of negative 1 is I, and since 30 is not a perfect square, we're going to leave it as square root of 30. So for the last one, let's subtract 2. So 8x squared, 2 minus 2 is 0. So negative 2. Divide both sides by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1. X squared equals negative 2 divided by 8 is a negative 1/4. So if we square root both sides, x equals, so remember the square root of negative 1/4 is the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 1/4. Square root of negative 1 is I. Square root of 1 divided by the square root of 4. Square root of 1 is 1, and the square root of 4 is 2. So we have 1/2 I.